Hello, thanks for being in a new video. This time let me tell you what I like most and least about the Galaxy A16, in case you're considering buying it. So, as always, let me tell you not to buy the Galaxy A16 without watching this video. Remember that in this case we are talking about the Galaxy A16 and not the Galaxy A16. 5G, that clarification needs to be made. Its launch price has been 4,299 pesos, so let's go by that price. Being a Galaxy, it has a super wide distribution, so you can find it in different stores and distributors, so you can choose who has the best price, generally. It's great to find promotions, deals and more. Whether online or in stores, you can buy it. Being a Galaxy, you also benefit from the brand's prestige, which goes beyond just the name. I see it as a perk, for instance, when buying cases. By being such a well-known model or any other type of accessory, I believe it becomes easier to obtain those sorts of small items that can complement your mobile phone. We'll have a Super AMOLED screen with 90 Hz, which is quite good. Other brands in this range choose IPS screens with 120 Hz, but honestly, I favor this option. It provides superior colors, contrast, and viewing angles. Overall, it's a screen that is likely to perform quite well. However, Samsung's real strength tends to lie in its software capabilities. In this particular instance, for example, it includes a feature known as separate app sound. What this means is that you are able to have two different applications playing simultaneously, with one application playing sound directly on the cell phone itself, and the other application playing its audio through a Bluetooth accessory. This allows for a more versatile audio experience. I find it useful at parties when you play music and get a WhatsApp audio. You could set it to play only on your phone, not the speaker. It's not a simple setup, but doable. Other phones don't usually have this feature. Outdoor selfies would be great. In this price range, the cameras are typically of a very low quality. However, I believe this one can truly stand out, especially, and I must emphasize, in very good lighting conditions. The portrait mode offers a decent level of detail, although it may not be perfectly accurate. That said, within this price range, I think there isn't another cell phone that takes portraits with such precision in edge detection. Nonetheless, it has the advantage of maintaining a good level of detail in this mode, which is definitely a plus. In fact, it also integrates a pro photography mode, which allows us to move several parameters, although it does not allow raw photography. But hey, at least if you like tinkering with manual parameters, you can enjoy it here. And watch out, because it comes with ultra-wide camera. That's something that most manufacturers don't include in a device of this price. So here you could enjoy a higher level of width in scenes where there is not so much space. That's fantastic! In addition to what you mentioned in panorama mode, you have the ability to use the ultra-wide camera. This is a feature that other manufacturers, even those who produce more expensive cell phones, often do not offer. So if you're someone who really loves taking wide photos and you don't have a large budget, this option could definitely be for you. But let me emphasize, where Samsung truly shines the most is in its software capabilities. It promises an impressive 6 years of software updates along with 6 years of security patches, which is quite remarkable. There are devices on the market that are significantly more expensive than this one, and they come with a much shorter support policy, typically around 4 years. This means that this device will age very well in terms of software support. As I mentioned, it includes a variety of attractive features such as modes and routines. These allow you to automate a wide range of tasks on your cell phone, offering a level of convenience that you simply cannot experience on non-Galaxy phones. Additionally, it includes the Edge Panels feature, which provides you with shortcuts to applications, making access to them easier and more efficient. Remember, you can drag these apps for a mode. It has a floating window. It also supports split screen mode. In fact, this cell phone can open any application in floating window mode, unlike other cell phones that maybe have certain applications restricted. It also offers a feature called Secure Wi-Fi. This is a private VPN that, for those who do not know, well, it allows you to have a more private connection, useful if you are constantly connected to public Wi-Fi networks. Because this way you are a little more protected. Samsung offers you a complimentary plan. And if you're looking for added protection or more megabytes, you have the option to pay for a subscription. Additionally, it features Kids mode with Samsung Kids, allowing you to select the specific apps you want to be accessible when lending this phone to a child. They won't be able to do anything else, just use those selected apps, which I believe is quite beneficial. Moreover, it boasts an impressively large ecosystem. Keep in mind that being a Galaxy device, it supports Galaxy Watch, Galaxy Buds, and a wide range of other accessories to enhance your experience. By using the SmartThings app, you can manage your air conditioner, refrigerator, and a variety of other devices, even those from different brands, not just Samsung. So indeed, you can confidently create your smart home with this smartphone. Interestingly, when it comes to gaming, it performed quite well and maintained its performance nicely. Clearly, it's not a phone entirely for gamers, but it performed decently. Now, here's what I didn't like. The design with drop notch looks about 3 years old. Also, the bottom bezel is noticeably thick, then aesthetically, it doesn't look that modern. Also, it doesn't come with Gorilla Glass. That's something. I think it can affect it because there are competitors that do integrate this glass, nor will we find headphone jack, which is something that in this price range is still common. And if you like to record your screen, either for tutorials or to share something with your friends, well, in this case, does not offer a built-in feature to record the screen directly. However, you can install additional applications to do this. But of course, that comes with its own set of challenges. Sometimes these apps are filled with numerous ads, or they might require extra payments, subscriptions, or other inconveniences. The 50 megapixel camera doesn't seem well utilized in zooming. I think the fact of having a 50. The megapixel camera should result in better quality zoom photos. However, even with two cameras, we can't switch between them. Of lenses. When we are recording video, we need to stop recording and start it again to do that action. Although it is more or less understandable for the price range, it is already an advantage that it has an ultra-wide camera, but you should know that this is its behavior. Most Galaxy phones let you rotate the front camera while recording. This device can't, but neither can competitors. Is the Galaxy expected more? Be aware that this feature isn't present. It also lacks the always-on display. The fingerprint reader supports only 3 records, limiting versatility. Plus, there's no charger in the box, so you need to add the cost of a charger if you don't already own a Samsung one. Additionally, it lacks FM radio, a feature that competitors in this segment include. Furthermore, it doesn't have a gyroscope, a gravity sensor, a linear acceleration sensor, or a rotation vector. So it has a limited number of sensors. For applications needing these sensors, performance is lacking, and with its 4 GB of RAM, it's quite slow. In my tests, opening apps took an average of 3 seconds for each app I tried. It really is very slow when you have many things open. So it will be a device only focused on having 1, 2, 3 applications maximum, because otherwise it gets pretty slow. In fact, it will also take a long time to be changing applications if you have many open. But if you already bought it, let me know your experience in the comments. I remind you that this model sometimes comes in configurations with more RAM, but it is imported from other countries. In Mexico, officially, only the 4 GB RAM version is distributed. So if you have a version with more RAM, let me know in the comments if it was better or the same. Also, let me know what you thought about the camera experience, the screen, everything. Let me know your opinion below, because surely there are users who will also be interested in reading your experience because they want to buy this phone.